YouTube, welcome back everyone, it's your boy Rump, and I'm bringing you another brand new weapon unlock. This weapon came out last week, and I'm showing you all the fastest ways, the quickest ways, the easiest ways to try to unlock this weapon because it's not easy, alright? So just like I showed you last week, the Martini Henry scope, we unlocked that one. It was a struggle, it was a grind to hit the achievement, unlock that weapon. So we did it again with the Hellriegel 1915 Defensive, and I'm going to show you the fastest ways and the different things that I ran through, the different struggles I had, and the different things that I think you might want to do if you want to unlock this weapon. Alright, so that aside, I want to let you guys know, if you haven't seen my previous videos, I showed you how to unlock every single weapon for the brand new They Shall Not Pass DLC. I'll put a link to that down below so you can check out every single gun that you want to lock out, and I give you all the tips about the easiest ways to do it, the quickest ways to do it. That's what we're all about. We want to get those guns as fast as possible, alright? We don't want to waste time. So, right here, right now, we're dealing with the Hellriegel 1915. The gameplay I have in the background is the 1915 because you need to get 300 kills with the 1915 factory in order to unlock the defensive. Okay, so it's 300 kills. I'll put that up here so you can see it. 300 kills, and it's also 25 anti-tank mine kills. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the anti-tank mine tips that I have for you, as well as using the Hellriegel 1915 factory to unlock the defensive. So before we go through it, the 1915 factory, you start off with 59 rounds plus one in the chamber. That gives you 60, and I believe you have about 120 rounds altogether on your back. Once you get that defensive version, you have 119 rounds plus one in the chamber, so you run around with a little bit more ammo. But keep in mind, this gun will overheat. It will overheat. The real version was water cooled or something of that nature. This gun will overheat. Once you reach to about 40 rounds, you have to let off the trigger, or you basically are going to be just dead in the water out there with your gun just standing there while you get shot. Now, here's something huge for both of you guys, whether you have premium or whether you have just the standard. If you do not have premium version, something that's huge that will help your aim. I believe it'll really help your aim when you're using this Hellriegel submachine gun, because a lot of the time when you're using the submachine gun, you're going to be within close to medium range. Okay, with the factory version, you're going to be close to medium range. So what you want to try to do is increase your chances of hitting the enemies, increase your chances of being able to pan left and right, increase your chances of being able to see more enemies in your field of view, decrease your chances of actually hitting your target. What I highly recommend, in your settings, go to options, go to video. And once you go to video, what you're going to want to do is make sure that you turn ADS field of view. Make sure you turn ADS field of view on, so that it will keep your field of view. Whatever your field of view is, that's the field of view that you see. Whatever it is, you want it to maintain the same rate that it is. What you'll notice when you're using this submachine gun, if you have it turned off, you'll slightly zoom in and out every time you pull it in sights. That slightly zooming in and out, I think it kind of takes away maybe a couple milliseconds worth of time where it takes you to acquire your target. Whereas in the last video where I told you guys different settings for the ADS, I'm telling you the exact opposite for this one, because this gun is totally different. The sights on this gun, the iron sights, are pretty good, and I do not think that you should keep it the way I was telling you to keep it in the last video for the Martini Henry scoped. That aside, another thing that you may want to do when you're aiming with this weapon is just hip fire. For some reason, I found that hip firing and being able to strafe left and right kept me alive a lot of times, and also got me getting tons of kills. What you may want to try to do though is don't lay on the trigger too long. I noticed a lot of times I was laying on the trigger too long, and then I wasn't getting kills. The gun just seemed to get weaker and weaker. I think it was just due to recoil. So what you want to do is make sure that you just lay on the trigger until you start to really realize that you're getting inaccurate, but just try not to pull in the sights. Just try to hip fire. I think that was really helpful for me. All right, so the Hellriegel, what you want to do with this gun in order to get the 300 kills. I'm going to give you a version for people with premium, and then a version for people without premium. If you do not have premium, you just stand by. In about a minute, I'm going to go through what maps you should use, what play modes you should use without premium. One of the first things that you want to do though, if you do have premium, you want to go to either Frontlines game mode, that was huge, or Rush mode if you decide you'd rather play Rush mode. Frontlines game mode, one of the reasons why Frontlines game mode is where I got so many kills, and I got them very quickly, is because Frontlines game mode, you'll have clusters of enemies. So for example, if you go to B flag on certain maps, let's say Verdun Heights for example, B flag, down below, up above, it's like a broken down church there, a broken down cathedral, you'll find tons and tons of enemies in that general area. There were many times where I'd go on a spree, kill about 5, 6, 7, 8 or more players at one time, and that just gives you a huge chunk towards the 300 that you actually need to get. So that's why I say Frontlines game mode is probably the game mode that you want to focus on. I did play a lot of Conquest. One thing I noticed about Conquest though, the only problem with Conquest is I would get a lot of kills, but it would just be so much time in between getting those kills when our focus wants to be on how we get these guns quicker and not the amount of time that we spend playing. Because when you're grinding to unlock a brand new gun, you're really not trying to spend time capturing flags or capturing points. No. It's all about getting as many kills as possible. You're on that grind, getting as many kills as possible to reach that achievement. So, like I said, for premium, focus on Frontlines game mode. Now, I did try a couple other game modes. I did try Team Deathmatch. I did try Domination. I did try. Did I try Pigeons? No, I didn't try Pigeons mode. I didn't think that'd be a good idea, but. Just so keep in mind when you're playing premium, focus on Frontlines game mode. If you do not have premium, if you do not have a season pass, if you do not have access to Frontlines, just like I told everybody with premium, check out the rush mode. The rush mode is great for gathering up tons of kills of enemy players because they're always focusing on getting towards that radio beacon so they can plant that charge. I was going to say MCOM station if you're familiar with Battlefield 4. But always in rush mode, I noticed that the kills were just coming so quickly because there'd be so many clusters of enemies spawning on each other, and just being in the right place at the right time was getting me those kills, flanking the enemy as they were going around to get to the objective. Rush mode was awesome. Only thing is, keep in mind with rush mode, you don't have as many players as you would in, let's say, Conquest. But even that aside, like Conquest, you can have like 64 players. Even that aside, even though you don't have that many players, the amount of players in a smaller area, just so confined, was leading to me getting tons and tons of kills, as you see in the gameplay here, which really just set me just like skyrocketing towards those 300 kills I needed in order to reach the achievement. Now, one mines, as far as the 25 anti-tank mine kills that you want to get, you are going to want to play the game mode either Conquest. You could play Frontlines, but you don't really have that many enemy armor, that many enemy vehicles there. So I would highly recommend you play Conquest, either Conquest or Operations. Now, Conquest, what I noticed in Conquest is one thing that I really found helpful when I was using these anti-tank mines is smoke grenades. Now, a lot of people might say, oh, well, I don't want to lose my impact grenades. I don't want to use my stick grenades. Listen, if you're trying to sneak up on these tanks, a lot of these tanks, think about it, a lot of these tanks have the driver's view, but you also have sometimes multiple gunners on both sides that are going to see you trying to sneak up. So what I was doing is, I highly recommend it, I was popping smoke grenades, throwing them ahead of myself before I would advance towards that tank before the enemy could actually start shooting me. Once you're up right next to the tank, I'd lay down, drop a couple of those mines, drop a couple of those tank mines, and just kaboom, get those kills real quick. So out of 25 kills, if you kill just, let's say, one land ship, if you just kill one tank, you might have 5 bodies in that one tank. That's 5. You do that 5 times, you already reached the 25, so it shouldn't take you that long. But keep in mind, you will get... I was starting to rage at some point when sometimes every now and then I wasn't getting the anti-tank kills, because you need at least two to kill a heavy tank. One can disable a light tank, but there was every now and then where I was just about to rage quit because I would put down a couple and only damage a tank or only disable it, and I wouldn't get the kill when I needed those kills, right? So one thing I recommend is putting your trip mines or putting your land mines in certain areas. So if you see a patch on the ground that's like darker than the other ones, drop them there. Do not just put them out in the open, because listen, some of these tank drivers are actually observant and they actually play a lot, and they actually know to look ahead and look in advance and make sure there's no mines out in front of them. So what you do is try to, if you can, stick them behind a rock, stick them behind rubble, stick them in grass if you can do so, and you should see those anti-tank landmine kills like just rack up. One last thing about those mines, like I said, it takes 2. If you drop 3 and the tank hits all 3, it's just demolished. The tank's going to be demolished. So one thing I highly recommend people doing is, when you drop one, just basically drop them right on top of each other. Another thing is, and I know it sounds really cheap, but I was having to do this too. If you see teammates' landmines, you shouldn't even be able to do this, but if you see teammates' landmines, blow them up. Shoot them. Shoot them with your guns. Why? And people are going to be mad at me, but the reason why is because you want to get those landmine kills. You want to kill those tanks. Every single landmine that you see out there that a teammate has put down, that increases their chances of killing a tank. So what do? I would go up, I'd shoot their landmines, put my own, or I'd put mine closer to where the enemy tank would be, like on a roadway before they could get to their landmines. So I know it's very cheap, but it worked for me. It'll work for you. I would never tell you to continue to do that, but it'll work out if you try to get those 25 landmine kills. Another thing too, another huge thing, every single map that you play on, like I said, Conquest, every single map that you play on has different routes, has different roads, has different areas that you know are well traveled. If you continue to play the game, you know. So for example, on Amiens, you might have Charlie flag. So for example, on FAO, you might have the Golf flag, the G flag. You know these certain areas where the enemy tanks are always driving, enemy vehicles are always driving. Put mines in those highly trafficked areas to increase your chances. And you can also kill, I did kill a couple horses with the mines, so that was actually funny as well. But you're not really interested in horses. What you want is those land ships. You want those tanks that have 4 or 5 seats in them so you can get those kills. You do that 5 times, you're already to your 25, all right? So I unlocked it. This is not a review video for you. This is just to give you those tips I think would really help you guys to unlock the gun as quick as possible. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. If you did enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because every time there's a new gun, you know I'm trying to bring you that info, and I really enjoy you guys getting back to me. So let me know down below what you guys think. Have you unlocked this weapon? Is there a weapon you'd like to see? Let me know what you guys think down below. All right, thanks for watching.